So there was a lot of buzz in the online Tekken community this week because all of a sudden these really big esports streamers started playing Tekken, and I think that's obviously great news. This is such a good game, and it deserves all the attention it can get. And I got some questions about it. I don't have that many interesting things to say about it because I have to confess I don't really watch live streams and don't really understand the world of live streams all that well. So I don't really know who these players are. But I noticed a couple of really interesting things watching their games the other day, and I think the first thing I picked up on was that one of them was doing a lot better than the others. And it's not a little bit better. He was a complete world apart in terms of his development, and it was this Swedish guy called Forsen, or I guess if he's Swedish, maybe it's supposed to be Forsen. I don't know. And I'm sorry if I'm getting that wrong, by the way. Now, people were making fun of him, calling him 4-4 Forsen because he's playing Katarina, and that's obviously hilarious, and he can eat a dick, but that's also just how we say hello in this community. So you can't knock the fact that he's already a yellow rank player on his Katarina out of his hands just because he's playing a very casual and easy to use character. He seems to have very, very good instincts for the game, and I think the most important thing that he does that you really want to do if you're trying to be a Tekken player is notice when something goes wrong and try to think creatively about it. There are so many questions you're going to have when you don't understand this game yet, and it's such a wealth of information that you're going to have to acquire over a large amount of time. Whether it's block punishment, frame data, Oki, full crouch, low parries, wall combos, rage drives, all the rest of it. But as long as you have an inquisitive mind and you're more focused on learning rather than winning, that's going to just exponentially improve your ability to get better at this game. So I think that's a very, very good attitude to have. And another guy who I watched for a little bit, whose name was, I think, Soda something, just seemed to be the polar opposite because he accidentally crossed his opponent up and turned his back to his opponent. And he didn't realize that when you're on the other side like this, all of a sudden back and forward are switched. And so you need to turn around. He didn't manage to do that, got hit on the back, and then rage quit live on stream. And if that's the kind of sort of petulant attitude you have towards Tekken, you're never going to get anywhere because it is one of the most difficult video games in the world to even try to be good at. It is ridiculously difficult, and so if you're in a sort of state of learning or you're trying to be creative about your Tekken, that's going to cut down the time it will take you to become a real player so much. It cannot be overstated. And it's not only about the fact that Katarina, yes, does have extremely easy to do combos where you can just do a hop kick and then keep on pressing forward and you get something that resembles a combo. Quick tip, by the way, if you're going to do that, stop after the first two hits, then do a little dash and then press the 4, and you will get 11 more damage and a lot more wall carry, and it's basically no difference whatsoever in terms of input. That's not what you want to do. Katarina's real combo off of her hop kick looks like this, and that's what you should teach yourself how to do pretty quickly if you're trying to be a real Katarina player, because her combo damage is some of the best in the game and you should capitalize on it, but that's a different video. But the other thing that I was really thinking about watching this death match between Forsen and this guy Moon who is playing Xiao Yu is that right now they are really just trading really powerful big launchers back and forth, and they're trading snake edges like crazy. Snake edges from a half screen, snake edges for Oki, snake edges at the wall, snake edges breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I've talked about in the past how my sort of beef with the snake edge move archetype is that I think it hurts the development of new players because you get honey-dicked by the rush of chemicals in your brain when something big like this hits, and so it becomes way too large a part of your repertoire as an early player. Then you keep on developing, you get higher up in the ranks, and all of a sudden you hit a concrete wall where this just won't work anymore, and it's just getting you comboed. And then it's very hard to sort of get away from doing it because you're going to have like snake edge abstinence, right? So if you're in that sort of phase as a Tekken player where you're doing a lot of high power moves, looking for a lot of launches back and forth, the only reason you're getting away with that is because your opponents don't know about proper punishment yet, but you're gonna get to a level where they do very quickly, and then you're gonna have to be playing so differently if you want to get anywhere that it's crazy. So the moves that you throw out most of the time, really 90% of your entire repertoire, should be fast and relatively safe moves like the down forward one. This should be about half of what you do with Katarina. And the other really big one is 443, which I don't think I saw Forsen use this move at all. And so if he just adds this to his repertoire and substitutes a lot of the Tuken tails that he's doing right now for this, then it's going to make a world of difference. This is a safe move. It's very low risk. It has almost no risk involved with it because it's safe on block. You can't get punished for using it. Every time it hits, you get a guaranteed up back 4 for 40 damage. If your opponent's on the ground, it will still hit, and if you score a counter hit, it's going to turn into a very high damage launcher. So this is minimal risk, very high reward. You can keep on doing this over and over, especially on a rank where people aren't going to sidestep it properly, and you will be able to keep on developing, and you won't hit that concrete wall that you're going to hit when people start blocking your snake edge and start ducking the fourth hit of this string, which they will do pretty easily very soon because it's very telegraphed and very easily duckable, right? So I know these big streamer guys aren't going to watch my shoddy videos, but I think we can teach other people who are in the same developmental phase in Tekken something here, and I think it's that don't get honeydicked by the fact that you have a lot of really high-powered, sexy moves that seem to do a lot of damage right now, because those are actually some of the worst moves you have. And I'm absolutely serious here. This is seriously probably your best move with Katarina, definitely one of them. So is this. When you're doing lows, you don't want to do this slow. You really want to do this slow, and you want to do this low. Maybe you want to do slide shoot and get a knockdown. If you're going to do a big low, you can get a scene and comboed for that as well. But down 3, down 3, down 4, this is your main stuff. And then when you see opportunities and create opportunities because of the fact that you're playing more compact and applying a lot more strategy, that's when you're going to launch. And another thing that I think needs to be said is that if you don't want to spend a lot of time in practice mode, that's fine, but you should at least teach yourself how to do bread and butter combos for your normal characters and not improvise your combos, because it's such a big difference. If you can get a wall carry with a combo and then actually do a proper wall combo when you get to the wall like that, that's another world of difference that's going to separate you from anybody else who's playing at your rank currently if they are not doing it either. But yeah, like I was just here in the lobby and thinking about these things, so I thought I might as well talk a little bit about it. But that's really all I have to say. If you are a new Tekken player, don't get honeydicked by big launchers, and try to think a lot more like Forsen. Try to be creative about the fact that you're not doing well all the time. Every time you eat damage or something happens that you don't understand. I mean, all of a sudden when you're playing Tekken, people will just do something that seems like magic to you and completely destroy you, and that's when you need to get creative and get inquisitive. And if you are lucky enough to have a chat room full of people who can give you a wealth of information on absolutely everything, then just ask them and try to build your repertoire. But getting angry about the fact that you're not winning when you're not even playing Tekken as something that can be called a casual level, I mean, you're not even bad yet, that takes about a year to get bad at Tekken, then you shouldn't be venting frustration and making excuses, because that'll get you absolutely nowhere. And that's just my thoughts on the topic. I'm going to try and actually play a couple of online games here with Katarina before work, but thank you so much for watching this short little musing on the fact that these esports guys are coming to Tekken. I hope they keep on playing, and I hope that a lot of people are brought to the game because of them, because like I said, this is so much better and so much more fun than most other online games out there, and I think it is by far the most fun and best fighting game franchise. So this is what you should be playing, and I really think it's such a great thing that so many more people are coming to Tekken in Tekken 7 after the sort of stumble the franchise had with Tag 2. But yeah, that's going to be it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys again very soon.